So this video is covering functions on how to look at a function table and find the equation that matches with the function table. And the big thing you need to remember is to always check all the ordered pairs that are in the table. Let's just go ahead and get started. So we have a table over here on the left. We have three equations. One of these equations will show the proper inputs and outputs for this table. So what we're going to do is just go ahead and try this first one out. So the big mistake a lot of kids make is they'll forget that they give you x then y with x on the left, but then when given the equation, the y values on the left and the x values on the right. So just be aware of where you're placing your variables. So let's try this first one out. The ordered pair is 3, 1. So notice how I'm putting in the 3 for x and the 1 for y. And if we work this out, now I'm not showing the entire process, but 3 times 3 is 9, and then 9 minus 8 gives you 1. So far, that one does check out. That one looks good. We're going to go ahead and try the next one, and we're going to do 0, negative 5. That's the next ordered pair. So an input of 0 should give an output of negative 5. So when we set it up, x is here, y is over here on the outside of the equation, the term that's by itself. 3 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 8 would be negative 8, which does not work out to negative 5. So we don't need to look at this equation any longer. It's not going to work because it didn't work for this ordered pair, and it probably wouldn't work for this ordered pair either. So we're moving on. So we have y equals 2x minus 5. I'm going to try that first ordered pair again, 3, 1. I'm putting the 3 in for x, the 1 for y. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 minus 5 gives me a 1. It does work out. This is where you can be typing things in with your calculator. Just make sure you're typing in numbers correctly. The next one we're going to do is the next ordered pair, 0, negative 5. We're going to plug in a 0 in the x, and then the negative 5 is the y, the term by itself in this equation. So 2 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 5 is negative 5. So that one does check out as well. We're going to look at this final ordered pair of negative 4, negative 13. So an input of negative 4 should give us an output of negative 13. Let's try it out. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. Negative 8 minus 5, this is where you need to remember your integer rules. It does work out to negative 13. So it sure looks like this equation is going to be the one that works. I'm just going to double check this last one to make sure it's not going to work. So I'm going to use that first ordered pair, 3, 1. 3, 1. I plugged them in properly. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 plus 2 is 11. That's not going to work. So the middle equation was the one that does work for all 3 points. So this equation displays this function table. We're going to move on to the next one. I would recommend you pause this, look at it for about a minute to see if you can figure out which one it's going to be by yourself. Alright, so hopefully you've paused it and you've tried it out. We're going to go ahead and try this first one, first point in the first equation. We're going to go ahead and do 2, negative 1, 2 for x, negative 1 for y. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4, plus 3 gives me a negative 1. So far, so good. I'm going to go ahead and look at the next ordered pair, 1, 1. So that means x is 1 and y is 1. So an input of 1 gives me an output of 1. Let's see. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2, and then negative 2 plus 3 does give me a 1. Looking good. So I'm going to go ahead and try this last ordered pair of negative 3, 9. So I'm putting in the negative 3 for x. The 9 is over here as the term by itself. Negative 2 times negative 3 is 6. 6 plus 3 does give you 9. It works. Now a lot of kids might go, cool, I found it, I'm done. I'm just going to double check that these others don't work. So the first one, I put in the ordered pair of 2, negative 1. That works out to 4 minus 5. That one does work. But as soon as I put in the next ordered pair, 2 times 1 is 2 minus 5. That's not going to work. And then finally, we'll try that last one just to make sure it doesn't work. We put in a 2 and a negative 1. That's going to be 6 plus 2. That's not going to be negative 1. So it was the first equation that did work for this one. So this equation and this function table match. We'll do one more. So I'd say pause right now, give it a minute or two, see if you can figure it out on your own, and then come back. So hopefully you've done that, you've paused it. Hopefully you're an expert at this by now. Let's try this first one. So I take my first ordered pair. I'm going to put it in as a -1 and a -9. -1 minus 8 does work out to -9. Now let's try the next one. Be real careful. A lot of kids will just go, oh, it worked for that one. That must be the answer. Always check all of the points. All of the points that they give you, always check out to see that they work. Let's try the next one. So an input of 1 gives an output of -1. So I'm putting an input of 1. Let's see if it works out to that output. 1 minus 8 would be definitely not -1. It would work out to -7. So that's not going to work. Let's try this next one. I'm going to go ahead and try -1 and -9. So -1 is my input, my x. My y is my term by itself. 4 times -1 is -4. -4 minus 5 does give me -9. We're moving on. So far, so good. We're going to try the next one. So an input of 1, output of -1. So 4 times 1 is 4. 4 minus 5 does work out to -1. I'm going to try the third one. Hopefully this will work too. 2, 3. Input of 2, output of 3. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 minus 5 is 3. It does work out. So that one's looking real good. I'm going to go ahead and try this last one. Check that first input and output. -1 plus 1 does not work out to -9, so we know it's not that one. So it is the middle equation. This equation displays this function table. They would match. That's about it. Hope this helps. Best of luck to you.